Good morning and welcome to the Art of Waterproofing. This is a series of seminars related to highways bridge deck waterproofing. The first episode relates to why we need to waterproof. It's a question that's often asked of me over the past 30 years. The bridge or structure may be in a country that doesn't rain much, or whether the climatic conditions are not such that perhaps the clients don't believe that waterproofing is necessary. Hopefully, over the next few minutes and through this presentation, you'll understand and get more appreciation of the reasons why we need to waterproof, and also with what type of materials and why some are effective and why some are not so effective. So the subject of why we need to waterproof, as I said, is mentioned a lot. It's often something that's argued about great detail. Waterproofing is not a significant cost to a particular project. It's normally about less than 1% of the actual project cost, but not doing it generally will cost you a lot more further down the line with regards to maintenance, corrosion, and reduction in service life costs, which are unbelievably expensive, and many clients will attest to that. So some of the reasons why you need to waterproof all relates to corrosion. An exposed concrete bridge deck will have asphalt on it, there's no doubt about it, and asphalt does provide some protection, but asphalt is permeable. Asphalt will allow water and other contaminants down to the deck level, and the concrete will do two things. It will go hard and it will crack. Those cracks are an entry point for the water, for the contamination, for the chlorides, for other airborne and waterborne contaminants, and eventually they will seep into the concrete and start attacking the reinforcement. Reinforcement may have some epoxy, may have some protection on it, but again, eventually that will deteriorate and the corrosion will start. The corrosion will cause the reinforcement to expand. The concrete will then crack around it, causing deterioration and structural deficiencies. If those aren't checked and repaired, then there could be serious structural problems further down the line, particularly with post-tensioned tendons, for instance. So this is not just Adrian Pike saying this, by the way. This is a fairly industry standard requirement to waterproof bridges. In the UK, it's been mandatory since 1960. So an awful long time has undergone, 50 odd years since that became mandatory in the UK. And other countries have adopted similar specifications because the clients understand that protecting the bridges might have an initial cost, but in the long run, it will provide them a much better and a more defined service life than leaving it open to chance. So there are many reasons why you need to waterproof. As I said, that corrosion is number one. It's stopping the deck from having corrosion, which can be a very expensive exercise later on down the line. In terms of industry standards, as I said, the UK has a standard called CD 358, which relates to concrete waterproofing for bridges. There's also a European standard, ETAG 033, which again is liquid applied bridge deck waterproofing kits. Both of those are used as a generic standard in many parts of the world, to be honest, because a lot of the manufacturers take the standards with them, and clients in different parts of the world say, hey, it works in the UK, it works in Europe, we want to adopt something similar for our particular country with additional caveats in terms of the local ambient conditions, the traffic conditions, etc., etc. But the fundamental requirement of waterproofing is generally used. Where it's not the clients will have reasons for that. They will say, well, we don't need it. But I think as time moves on, waterproofing is becoming the norm, not the abnorm. So hopefully that gives you some understanding of why we need to waterproof bridges. There are publications out there that you might want to read. CD 358, which is the UK Highways England published documentation, or the DOT in the UK. ETAG 33, as I mentioned before. There's also a Concrete Society report out there which covers post-tensioned structures, which I'll put you the link on, which again is quite a useful documentation. There's also documents such as Water Management for Durable Bridges, which was done by Cunningham, I believe. Again, that talks about why you need waterproofing, drainage, good asphalt layers, a composite, if you like, to make sure that the bridge is protected not only at the bridge deck level, but also to stop water getting from other sections, how you deal with expansion joints, how you deal with termination points, how we deal with drainage holes, etc., etc. So the whole thing comes together. So hopefully that little 5 or 6 minute snippet is going to give you some indication of why we need to waterproof, and that's the end of part 1 of our seminar. Thank you.